Okay, sorry for the dead air. If I was if it was all dead air, I'm sorry for the dead air. This is the Zenwitch coming at you live. Yay. So, still working out the bugs of live streams. Although the kind of what I considered a disastrous one the other day got me some new subscribers. So, yay! And here's lessons learned. I've been working on computers since the '80s, working with computers since they started putting them in offices. But things update, lots of platforms changing, lots of the landscape is totally changed by now. But still, I'm not a technophobe and I'm not an idiot when it comes to computers. But still, from the live stream last Wednesday, I believe it was, lesson the first, make sure I shut off the live stream of Fireplace on my TV through YouTube before I start live streaming on this machine. This machine is not hardwired. So I gotta, holler out to everybody in my family and tell them, don't stream while I'm going on. So anyway, welcome. And I'm here to talk about Tarot some more today. And I thought I'd start off with, well, and I also, later on, stick around because I'm going to offer readings. So if you're on watching the stream and you subscribe and you comment, provided I can get my chat window visible while I'm doing this. I haven't quite figured that one out yet. But I will answer your questions. If you post a question, I'll do a 3-card reading for you. Okay? Yay. All right. So what I want to start with today, let me minimize myself here. Hold up. There we go. I don't have a producer. I do it all. So what I want to start with today is how you cleanse and bless and charge a deck. Okay? And I'll show you the way I do it. So what I've got here, my cards, and I keep my cards, the ones that I read with. I mean, I've got my 150 on the shelves, and I just cleaned my shelves and rearranged them this week. So now I have like a whole half a shelf that's empty and waiting for new decks. So I keep my cards in one of the purses that I make. I have crystals in the pockets here, and it's nice brocade. What am I doing? Brocade and batted and everything. And I keep my cards tied with a dark blue ribbon and a white ribbon. And this is just, the dark and the light and the dark moon and the full moon and all that kind of stuff. But I keep them tied just to keep their energies bound and safe. I have them blocked with the, deck card, brand card, I guess. And then I keep them in there. So I'm going to set these down, and I will just go ahead and bless and charge these, although I do have a couple new decks that I haven't done yet. The first thing I'm going to start with is sage. So smudge is generally to clear any energies that the cards may have been picked up by being handled, by being shipped, by whatever, all the people that picked them up, especially if it's a used deck and, it's been opened. But we want to start fresh and clean, and sage is the way to do that. You can also use cedar. That's a very clearing herb as well. And when I light my sage, and let's see, wait, before I do that, just so it gets going here, I'm going to light a charcoal because we're going to cleanse it and then we're going to bless it. And so I'm going to light this charcoal so that I can use a different incense for blessing once it's cleansed. And this I have no trouble lighting with a lighter. Yeah, okay. It's going to be one of those kind of days, huh? Okay. I have no trouble lighting this with a lighter because it's all going to burn off, all the saltpeter flashes and everything and burns everything off. However, when I am lighting sage, I use a match because I don't want the butane fumes or vibes to, affect the sage. And oh my God. Okay, so Mercury stationed on Wednesday, and it is now technically direct, and I just tried to light a match by striking the wrong fucking end. So, off we go. Right. lit, let it get started, and I just give it a puff. I don't blow, all right? So we've got the sage going. And then I'll just take and fan the cards so that, you know, they're exposed. The fronts and backs are basically exposed and not just the edges as much as possible. And then just move them through the smoke. Okay, if you want to fan them the other way, you can. All right, there's that part. And you know I am going to take this. This is a new deck that I just got. It's called the Medieval Cats. And it's a freaking awesome deck, but I haven't really fully cleansed it yet. So we're gonna do this. Okay. And of course, while you're doing this, you're gonna focus your energy. We'll set these aside. So now to move the smudge off a little bit. And you know what? Wait, I've got one more while that's still burning. So I got the Medieval Cats deck, and I got this Angelarium deck. And you know, you can also smudge the book. Not a bad idea. Again, if things have been handled, if people's vibes are on them. Not a bad idea to just sort of riffle through and cleanse the book as well. All right. So that's burning out. Now what I have is charcoal burning in my little cauldron. And I am going to use an incense that is specifically for divination purposes. And I make this myself. It is called the Fire of Azrael. And it is for enhancing divination. So if you have a deck that you've been using for a while and it's, you know, already been cleansed and everything. I mean, I cleanse my decks periodically. If I do a party and I do a lot of readings, I will cleanse my deck afterwards. Hold on. And here I will say, by fire and air, may this deck be charged and purified. And then the next part is salt water. By water and earth, may this deck be cleansed and made whole. Blessed and made whole, sorry. So there's that. Now, Medieval Cats deck, I will take the blocking card off. These are kind of slippery. They're new, so they're sort of slick and slippy, and that's okay. By air and fire, may this deck be purified and charged. And by water and earth, may it be blessed and made whole. Be careful, you know, when you're doing water, you don't want your deck to get soaked and all lumpy and bumpy in that. By air and fire, may you be purified and charged. By water and earth, may you be blessed and made whole. And you can probably tell, I mean, I've been doing ritual for a lot of years, and as soon as I light the sage, as soon as the smell hits, I feel the shift in my mind. I feel things switching from left brain to right brain, switching over into ritual mind, and thank you. I was asking my music to bring this song up. The music that you're listening to today is a group called VAS, V-A-S, and they're just wonderful for ritual and other purposes as well. Make a little bit of room for myself here. So cleansing and charging your deck starts the process of this game that you are going to play with your own mind. So we want to go into this without illusion. We want to go into this with eyes wide open about what's happening here. And the true fact is nobody knows exactly what's happening, although the quantum physicists are getting mighty close. What's happening here, in my opinion, is that we are stepping into the synchronicity process that the universe runs on. You know, things are not set in stone. Things are not prescripted, okay? Or predestined, or, you know, I want to get away from superstition and dogma, those two things that I'm terribly allergic to. And dogma, superstition says, oh my God, these cards are, you know, sacred and special, and I have to be really careful. And the reason I'm so allergic to superstition is it's one half hair away from fear. All right. Superstition says, if I don't do this right, something bad's going to happen. Or if I just do this particular thing, something good is going to happen. And it sort of takes control out of your hand. It takes you away from free choice and into the dogma of I have to do this way or else. I can't question it. So when you decide to read, you can very easily step into that place because you're dealing with cards that have this symbology on it that has been considered sacred, and it's esoteric and it's mystical, and there's, you know, all of this very interesting and weird stuff that goes with reading cards. And it is very easy to go into the idea of, you know, dogma and superstition. Now, when I am blessing my decks, what I'm doing is I'm programming my brain. All right. I am, you know, telling my brain that this is something special to me, that something special is going to happen when I use these things. And so it brings my brain on alert, and it starts putting me, like I said, you know, as soon as I smell the incense, I start kind of going into trancey state, and it becomes harder to put things into words. But you know, you start making that bridge between your left brain and your right brain. And that's what reading cards is all about, because your left brain speaks in language and in words. Your right brain speaks in images. Your right brain is the gateway to the unconscious mind, to the collective unconscious, to the well of information, to the Akashic records, whatever you want to call it, okay? Universal mind, whatever label you give it, there's this unified consciousness that is everything that is, and right brain has the gate to that place. Left brain is the thing that separates and divides and individualizes, and is, you know, kind of the ego is centered here, the soul is centered over here. And I have to say, this will be interesting for me to watch after this stream, because some of the things that I say when I'm kind of in this state, I don't know what I'm saying until it comes out my mouth. And then later I'll go, wow, you know, I didn't know that until I said it. So anyhow, you have to understand that you are in charge of this process, or you are in charge of a big part of this process, and you're in charge of the relationship that you have with your instrument. All right. And your relationship needs to be one of trust and faith that I know this tool is going to work for me. I know that information is going to come from this. And that faith comes from working with the deck and getting answers that make sense. So, you know, you've got to base it in experience. If you pick up a deck and you're working with it and it just is not working for you, you don't need to waste your time, you know, waiting for it to suddenly catch fire, you know. You can just stick with the ones that do speak to you, and then based on that, wow, this deck really has profound things to say and enlightening things to say to me, you go from there to the place of faith that whenever I ask, I get the answers I need. Okay, so that's faith. And when you cleanse your deck, when you charge it, and bless it, you are sending a signal to your deep mind that something special resides here. Something special is going to happen. And the same thing with an altar. And I want to show you, see back here, this is my big altar, all lit up back here. And it's quite elaborate. And I spend time on that altar, every single day. I'm lighting candles, I'm interacting with it somehow. But the things on that altar have been part of my spiritual life for many years, for decades even. And all I have to do is see those things. And so somebody asked my Tibetan teacher once, why do we have to do these big altars? And from her teachers, she said, it's because child mind, you have, child mind, or Buddhists sometimes call it monkey mind, that's already jumping around and not focused and doubting and, all that kind of stuff. But the beauty of an altar and the candles and, everything just kind of bring child mind to the fore of, ooh, this is really pretty and I want to play with that. And child mind is also very, very close to psychic mind. So these images, these beautiful images of cards, engage that child mind, and they engage the visual right brain as well. And then the keywords on cards engage the left brain. And this is, one of the reasons why I say listen to your intuition over book keywords, is because those keywords keep you in your left brain. It's better to have keywords that come from your understanding of an image and your, oh man, that reminds me of, something I've been through personal, and here's what that meant to me, and here's the keyword, because that's going to be more holistically in your brain rather than just, having to switch to left brain to remember words, keywords. So when I bless a deck, I am setting up this dialogue. And when I'm working with a deck and learning a deck, I am building a relationship with these symbols, and I am learning the deck, and I am teaching the deck what I need from it, what I want from it. But my brain is also getting programmed with these symbols. All right. And you might notice if you work with a deck for a long time that the symbology of the deck will start coming up in your dreams, because you were learning a language. You're teaching your brain a symbolic language of whatever the particular deck is. So, and when you get a new deck, one of the first things I do, I get it out. First of all, I look at all the pictures, and I'm noticing, oh, I like this one, or I don't like that one, or whatever. Then I will shuffle it up several times, and then I will go and separate them out again. After it's shuffled, I'll divide them again into the majors and the minors. And that way you just sort of start to familiarize yourself and with the suits. You're chunking it down now into suits and major and minor. And then as I'm going through, I'll look at cards that I particularly love. It'll be like, ooh, I love that image. That's really cool. Set that one aside. Or, ooh, I don't like that one at all. That image does not appeal to me. The ones that evoke a strong reaction, both negative and positive, set those aside. Because if you start with those cards in learning the deck and what they mean, those are going to stick because you have an emotional connection with them already by, attraction or aversion. So, and another thing you can do is take your deck and think of, a particular thing that happened in your line, a particular storyline that you've lived through, and go through your deck and see if you can illustrate it just from the images in the deck. And then, look up meanings and stuff. So there's a lot of different ways you can do this. And I want to go here and see if I can hook into my stream, see if anybody's a-watching. Okay. I thought, and by the way, I'm using OBS, Streamlabs OBS is the software I'm using for streaming. And I thought there was a way to pop out the chat here. And I'm not seeing that. So if anybody knows, I could even see your answer at any rate. So maybe what I'll do, if I can't get to, let's see what happens if I just click on my live stream and see what's happening.
And I thought
now
there
I
was
have
a
to
way
all right.
to
Okay, so I see Elena, is that your name? asking if I'm a Gemini. And no, I am not. So I will tell you a little bit about how I'm set up astrologically. Because my chart is exquisite. I use my own chart to lecture on astrology a lot because it's just a great illustrator of why I am who I am. And I am a Leo, sun in Leo, and I have a Pisces moon, and I have Scorpio rising. Um, the sun in Leo is what makes me a performer. It makes me comfortable in front of a camera, makes me comfortable teaching and doing things like that. The Pisces moon is what makes me psychic, or what, and again, here I am falling into that language of causation. Astrology is not causative. It's not, these planets cause this. It's descriptive. It's reflective and descriptive. So when I say, it makes me, what I'm meaning is it represents this part of me. So my Pisces moon represents my psychic ability. That Pisces moon trines Neptune in the 12th house. Now, Neptune rules Pisces and also rules the 12th house. In the flat wheel. So the Neptune, it rules my moon because my moon is in Pisces. So the Neptune moon trine is like one of the major parts of my psychic ability. And also, when you're doing in astrology, the lights, the sun and moon, and then Mercury through Mars are the inner planets, or they are the personal planets. And then you add Jupiter and Saturn, and those are sort of like come into play as you mature and you grow and you come into understanding and responsibility. Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are the outer planets. They are transpersonal. They're called transpersonal. So they move very, very slowly. And particularly Pluto, it takes, some 250 years almost for it to get through all 12 signs. So with Pluto, it's generational. And Pluto will be in the same sign for a long, long time. So you have whole generations of people that are born with Pluto in Capricorn, for instance. And so those things that are more common become less personally significant. So having, if somebody born with Pluto in Capricorn is like, oh, I've got Pluto in Capricorn, so does everybody else in your generation, that doesn't count as much for you unless you have it focalized in some way. What focalizes a planet? Being solitary in one hemisphere of the chart with at least 60 degrees empty between it and the nearest planet. Conjuncting an angle, conjuncting either your ascendant, your IC, your descendant, or your midheaven, within 7 degrees of any of those angles. As part of a stellium, which is a tight grouping of 3 planets within 7 degrees of each other. Aspecting your lights, your sun or your moon. Part of a configuration, a grand trine or a T-square. All of those things will cause a planet to be in high focus. And for the outer planets to affect you, they really need to be involved in that way somehow. And I'm here to tell you that I hit the outer planet trifecta. I have Uranus conjuncting my sun, so that's my intuition. And let's separate intuition from psychic ability. In my mind, psychic ability is a function of the emotional body and the subconscious. That's represented by Neptune. Intuition is a function of the intellect. Intuition is just to have intellectually be able to extrapolate, to be able to hear fact A, B, C and jump to Z and go, okay, I see where this is going. That's intuition. All right. So you've got psychic ability and you've got intuition. So I've got the intuition planet conjuncting my sun. I've got Neptune, the psychic planet, trining my moon. And it's also involved in a T-square squaring my sun. And I've got Pluto conjuncting my midheaven and conjuncting my Mercury and opposing my moon. So I've got all 3 outer planets heavily involved with both of my lights and angles. And that's, that's what makes me a priestess. It's what makes me a teacher and a witch and a psychic and a reader and all of those things. And I'm telling you, if you have any doubts about what you're here to do, in life, get your chart done. If you're doubting, I live in a college town and I do a lot of readings for students, and they show up with burning questions on their mind. And number one is, am I in the right major? Either they're in a major and they're just doubting whether they're in the right place, or they know they're in the wrong one and are looking for some kind of validation there. And I don't want to know anything about you before I do a reading for you, either tarot or astrology. And when I do the chart, I will look at their midheaven, which is career, the way forward in life. This is how you make your mark on the world. And then we look at the second house, which is money and how you make it, how money works in your life. And then you look at the sixth house, which is your work ethic and the kind of work that you do. So notice that there are 3 different houses there. And this is why some people have a day job that brings in the money, but their career, you know, how they make their mark on the world, is something entirely different. Usually, sixth and second will work together somehow, but sixth house represents how you go about work and what kind of work environment you need. Those 3 things together, I describe them, and I am either describing the major that they are in, that they know they belong in, or I am describing the one that they really want to be in, but their parents talked them into something else. So doing charts like that is really, really fun. And my chart is absolutely descriptive of the things that I've ended up doing in life. So I'm looking, I think I see chat here. Go to channel. I wish I knew what I was doing. Pop out chat. Booyah. That's what I'm looking for. That is what I'm looking for. Okay, there's the live chat. I'm going to say hi. Goody, I can chat now. And if I'm hoping somebody's there. You know, I'm used to being a voice crying in the wilderness. It's not fun, but it's part of my job. So if I'm not, in fact, crying out to the wilderness and somebody has a question, go ahead and post it. I'll be looking up and watching. In the meantime, I think I'm just going to do like some 3-card readings for each of the signs. Why not, right? So I'm going to shuffle my deck. I shuffle my decks that will allow me to this way. I have a friend that doesn't like that, and she says it feels like they're banging their heads together, and I totally respect that. This is your process, all right? Your rules. You shuffle your cards the way you want to shuffle your damn cards. I've always liked to shuffle them this way. It makes me happy. I like the sound. I like the breeze. I like the fact that it feels like air is touching all of them. And this is another thing I will do if I pull out a deck that has already been cleansed and blessed, but I haven't used it in a while, is fan it out and give it some air. Okay, I am going to cut shuffle through once, and then I will do a reading for Aries. All right. And let's say that this will be like for the next month. They're going through the holidays. Holy shit, Aries. We've got 3 major arcana here. The Lovers, the Emperor, and Strength, which says that the Aries that are listening to this. So here's the synchronicity thing. You guys can engage in synchronicity with me by clicking on this video and listening to it. So I am going to trust that the information I am putting out is going to be absolutely pertinent to the people that decided to click and watch this video this far. So all the Aries that are watching here for the next, let's say through the holidays, okay, we're coming up on Thanksgiving next week. Let's go through New Year's Day. All right. 3 major arcana says you're dealing with big stuff. Big stuff. The majors are big stuff, life lessons. The minors are daily details. Okay. Day-to-day living. So with the Emperor in the middle, it says it's decision-making time. It's time to step into your authority and make a damn decision, okay? It's the choices before you. Act. Make the decision, all right? The Lovers on the left side talks about attracting things to you. So deciding what it is you want to attract to you. It's the attraction principle. And it's not just visualizing. or making a wish. You know, that's superstition. The magical thinking is step on a crack, break your mother's back. Real magic is here's something that I want to manifest in my life. Here's exactly what it's going to look like, and generating the details of that in visual images. Remember, right brain goes to your unconscious mind, and that's where you need to reprogram things. That's where magic gets programmed to be effective. So you start thinking about what is it that I want to, and you're imagining vividly with details and colors and smells and everything else. And then you are investing it with emotional energy. It's the investment with emotional energy, charging it, energizing it, okay, raising energy. And then the last step is release. The release is what brings it to you. If you keep hanging on to it, it won't come. All right. So this talks about attracting to you the thing that you need. And life lessons, attracting life lessons to you and stepping into your authority and making decisions. And the strength card says, just hang in there. It's, you know, it talks about endurance, and it also talks about, ooh, this is a great message for Aries. This talks about taming the lion with love and patience and compassion. Okay? Not with whip and chair and violence and aggression and force. All right? The strength card is all about making things happen through loving them into being. It is also a card of endurance. So it says, hang in there, love the lion, love the problems that are going through your life, love them for what they're going to teach you, and then you can manifest from there. But front and center, Emperor says, time to make a decision. All right, going to shuffle through once for Taurus. Okay, Taurus. Ooh. All right, blank card comes up first. The blank card says that there's not an answer for you right now, that things haven't quite landed in a place where an answer is apparent. There are things that you can't know right now. The blank card says you're in a test of faith, and that's where you go when you can't find the answers. You have to rely on faith, and your belief system will show up. What do I believe about the world? Do I believe it's a hostile place? Do I believe it's a beneficent place? So, you know, and if what shows up when you don't have answers sucks and makes you horribly anxious, then you got to check your belief system and look at maybe what needs to be edited or changed there. Okay? Blank card, and a relationship is coming up here, and this is a relationship that is, it can be romantic or business. It's in the creative. This talks about collaborating and creating something with somebody. We call this the marriage card, but it's not necessarily marriage. It is building something with someone else. Okay, I'll show you the blank card too. It says to all believers. That's the test of faith. Okay. Notice it's drawing back the curtain. Ask the questions. Look behind the curtain. So, no information right now about this collaborative effort that you're making with someone. And on the other side of that, with this relationship, it talks about recognizing where your emotional energy is being wasted. Recognizing where I need to recoup my losses, stop spending emotional energy, and move on. All right? So walking away from something, even if it is a relationship, but we don't have all the answers yet. Okay. Shuffle once through, and here I'm telling my deck this, and then we will do Gemini. Okay. And as I'm shuffling, I'm telling my cards what I'm doing so that they know how to arrange themselves. Do they hear me? Who knows? It's the game I play with myself. And look at the Kings coming up for Gemini. For Gemini, it's all about money. Wow. Ten of Pentacles is the stable family card. It talks about not just having enough money, but having plenty and everything set for the future. This reads like a fixed sign card because it's future oriented. I want to have the cupboard full and stocks. It's about stockpiling money and resources, okay? And having plenty for everybody. On the one side, King of Pentacles is the person with the money. It's also mastery of money. So as we're focused on having plenty and having, you know, abundant resources, we have to look at mastery of money. And that means that money is your bitch, not the other way around. Okay. We are horribly emotionally connected to money in our culture, particularly in the US here. We are just so money hungry and greedy. And we also tend to equate the amount of money we have to our personal worth, our self-worth, and that's just wrong. I'm going to throw a little bit more of Azrael on here so things might get a little foggy. So mastery of money says, I understand that it is a tool and a resource that allows me to move through life the way I want to. It has nothing to do with my worth as a person. Okay? It is a symbol of my creative output. So having mastery of it helps to get this abundance and things set down for the future. And then to the right here is King of Rods. And when he comes up, he indicates a professional consult of some sort. So it is time to bring in a professional. It is time to ask for a professional opinion. That can be a doctor, a minister, a lawyer, a teacher, an advisor, a financial advisor. It can be any of those things. So time to get some advice, time to look at your relationship with money and how you master it, and you are definitely moving towards increased stability and abundance there. Okay? That was Gemini. One cut shuffle through, and we will move on to Cancer. Okay. Haven't had any cards fly out yet. If they do, they will be read. All right. All right. Cancer, we're having some tough times here. Nine of Swords in the middle talks about grief, a grief process, a heavy, heavy feeling going on. And she's in bed. She's in the middle of the night. So this talks about something that's not quite being worked on consciously, something that could be waking you up in the middle of the night. Okay? It's a grief process that needs to happen actively. So we need to address our feelings. And we've got court cards on either side of these too. Interesting. God, I hate court cards. Why? Because they're slippery. They can talk about traits of the particular person. They can talk about another person that you're involved with. So it's kind of hard. I usually describe everything, but then I have certain ones like the King of Rods that is a professional consult. They're, you know, they've come to take on their own meanings for me over 30 years of doing readings. So Page of Cups here talks about, all right, this grief process talks about looking into yourself, looking deeper into your emotional self. Cups are emotions, right? You see him gazing in here and the fish coming out. So this is information coming from the unconscious, from your watery self. And, you know, Cancer is a water sign, of course. You see the wave breaking over the head here. So that speaks to this emotional turmoil here. This card to me says some type of spiritual practice, some sort of structured practice, whether you do prayer work, whether you chant, whether you play music, whether you read cards, whether you sing, praying, meditating. Meditating is like number one on my list. There's so many vehicles to help you meditate now. There is no excuse not to do it. And you will, I can't describe to you the profound changes it can bring in your life to help give your brain a rest. We are inundated every single minute of every day in our culture. Your brain needs a rest. Your body needs a rest. Everything needs a rest to reintegrate, okay? Meditation there can help you get to this stuff that you're dealing with. The Knight of Swords on the right side says, get going, okay? That talks about passion and drive and going at things with a vengeance, or with a will at the very least. So I think that it's time to take action against the sorrow that you're harboring here, Cancer, and sensitive people, water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, and those signs, moons, are having a hard time now because emotions are running hot. Stress is high. Anxiety is high. So it's tough. So it's time to start meditating. Do it with the will. Go at it with some assertiveness and some energy, and you'll start working out those that heavy emotional weight you're carrying. All right. And we have one cut through, and we will go to Leo. Oh, hi, Tanya. Hi, somebody's here. Yay. All right, we're going to go to Leo, and then I'll pause. And Tanya, if you have a question, go ahead and put it in the chat there, and I will do you a personal reading. Okay, for Leo. All right, and this is one of those images. So look at how these things set up. We've got pentacles on each side, and then we've got this two in the middle with a sword kind of pointing at both sides here. All right. So for Leo, it's time to take the blindfold off. Two of Swords says you're in self-protect mode. Hell yes. So, you know, I'm listening to this reading for myself as I'm giving it. You're in self-protect mode and in denial mode. Don't want to look. I just don't want to know. I don't want to, you know, don't want to look too deeply because I'm scared of what I might see. It's time to take the blindfold off because nothing is ever as bad as fear makes it. Okay? Queen of Pentacles on one side talks about the ability to make more out of whatever you're handed. It's resourcefulness. You notice she's pregnant and holding a rabbit. So fertility, anytime these cards come up, it's just time for the reminder of make sure fertility lands in your life the way you want it to land. But it says that there's something extra going on. There's a bonus in the physical, all right? She can take any resources that are given to her and make something more out of it. So with money on either side here, I'd say money worries for Leo. The one reminder is you're pretty resourceful and you can make a dollar shriek, you know, for mercy. So depend on your resourcefulness and your ability to make whatever you've got into something more. And on this side is money that is not worked for. Okay, this can be a loan, this can be a gift, this can be an inheritance, a legacy, a lottery ticket, anything like that. It's just something that is not an exchange for work. Okay, so money worries, Leo. It's time to look it in the face and write things down on paper. Let's get, you know, let's get a good line on the truth of it rather than the fear of it. Okay. And now, Tanya, what's going on in my relationship? It feels off. Okay. And boom, there goes one flipping out of the deck. Okay. So the Fool card says that you've just got to really take off the rose-colored glasses and look at things for what they really are. The Fool talks about everything being possible, all possibilities, okay? But it's the beginning of possibilities, so we don't really know how things are going to manifest yet. The Fool card says, watch where you're going. It's a card of being swept away by the newness of something. So if this is a new relationship, it can be just, you know, maybe you're going through that period of the honeymoon kind of being over, but the newness of something can sweep us off and make us so hopeful that we don't really see exactly what's going on. And if you notice the Fool, he's about to step right off the edge of the cliff there. So the Fool card says, enjoy, you know, the freshness of things, but watch where you're stepping. So time to look down and see exactly where you are in your relationship. Now let's take 3 and see here. All right. 8 of Pentacles is an apprenticeship card. So it talks about getting some 18 years. Wow, that's long. Okay. It talks about apprenticeship or learning new skills. So with a long-term relationship like that, this says that we've got to update things, that it's time to get some new skills together. And frankly, you know, one of the most important things in a relationship is communication. And it doesn't matter how well you get along or how compatible you are or how suited you are to each other. If you don't periodically renegotiate the deal, things do start to feel off. It's kind of like when you're raising a kid and they're, you know, 2 years old and you finally get things dialed in and it's working. And then suddenly they're 2.5 or 3 years old and everything's falling apart and you can't figure out what the hell happened because I'm still doing, you know, this was working so well before. It's because the kid has changed and you haven't. The child has grown and your parenting style has not changed to accommodate the growth. So life changes over 18 years. Big things change. We change. You know, we're unusual in the animal kingdom for having these lifelong and long life relationships, and that's a tall order. So it's time to get some new skills together. Maybe read some books on communicating. And Brene Brown, I would totally recommend Brene Brown. Any of her books. Daring Greatly is a really good one to start with. It's about shame and vulnerability and communication and really truly being open to your partners. So I would say, you know, time to look for some new skills there. Knight of Rods in the middle talks about a change of residence or a change within the residence. So whether you've recently moved or you're thinking about moving, this could indicate somebody moving in, somebody moving out, or you moving. Third rank on the list is travel. So could be doing some traveling too. And Page of Rods on this side certainly says it's about communication. We got to start talking. You got to start saying what's on your mind. If communication doesn't work too well between you, then it might be time to find out how to communicate better. I know Facebook has taught me a hell of a lot since the 2016 election and how to communicate in words without pissing people off. It's, you know, the way you state things. Instead of saying, you know, you're doing this or you this, it's you know, I've observed this and it makes me feel blah, blah, and I have questions, and letting the other person talk. So it's new communication skills here. But that Knight of Rods in the middle does indicate a move or travel. And there's like a fourth rank there that can be actively making a change within the household, like doing some construction or something like that. But it does look like there's change happening. The Fool can also say that you're at a place where things have changed to the point like kids grow up and leave or something, where it is sort of a fresh start in the relationship. So look to that fresh start. Look how you can bring new skills in, new communication skills in particular, and then start communicating about, you know, what about where we live, and is it time to make a change there? Okay. So I hope that did something for you. I hope that landed. And I have to tell you guys too, this blows my mind. I will do readings for people and they'll be like, oh my God, that was so accurate. I can't believe it. You're hitting like crazy. But you know, it's unreal. And I have to tell them it blows my mind too. I am always stunned. I mean, there are readings that I do that just stop me cold. I look at the pictures and go, how the fuck does this work? Because it's just amazing and magical and everything else. So this blows my mind too. But the other side of that coin is I always have doubts. I have doubts going in, you know, is this going to work this time? Am I going to be completely full of shit? And the acid test of being a reader is to read for somebody just like I did, where I can't see your face. You're not in the same physical space as me, and I don't know you. It's just cold. It is absolutely cold. So that's the test of a reader. Hope it was good for you. Okay, let's do cut shuffle once through, and we'll go to Virgo. All right. And we have majors coming out again. Okay, so big things going on for Virgo as well. Wheel of Fortune says things are moving on. Things are growing up. It's a seasonal change. It's one of the majors that indicates change. But it's a change that's organic, seasonal, natural. Time for things to change. It's timely change, okay? So things are changing for you, Virgo. The High Priestess says it's time to use that Virgo brain, disconnect the emotions, and really look at things analytically. All right. The High Priestess talks about wisdom and deep knowing, but it's detached emotionally. It's being able to see things clearly, very, very clearly. All right. So things are moving on. Time to look at it dispassionately and clearly, and time to look towards the future. Three of Rods says things have shifted now. The Wheel of Fortune says things are turning. You're finally going to start seeing some of the result from the work that you've put in. Okay. So Three of Rods says ships are coming in. You've taken responsibility. You've looked to the future. Things are finally moving forward. Ships are coming in for you. Okay. Trust your intuition, Virgo. Trust what your guts are telling you. Okay. All right. We move on to Libra. I felt like that one wanted to come out, but it didn't, so it's staying in. And we have that pair coming up again. Wow. Okay, so look, here's the same pair that was in a couple ago. Can't remember whose it was. I think it was Taurus. At any rate, we've got a big difference here. So let's see how this one plays out. So we are talking about collaboration, working with someone, whether it's romantic or business, collaborating, building something with someone together. But with this card, it's really pulling strong towards relationship for me, because it talks about emotionally walking away from an emotional drain, walking away from where your emotional energy is wasted. But see, that can pertain to a business thing too. If you are, working on a project with somebody and it's a creative thing and you're emotionally invested in it and it's just not going anywhere, sometimes it's time to recognize that, I can't be wedded to this project because it's really not working out the way I planned right now. Okay. Now let's bring the devil in here. The devil talks about things that have more control over you than you have over them. So we can talk about everything from just codependence in relationship to, people that can yank your chain emotionally, to full-blown addiction, gambling addiction, sex addiction, drug addiction, gaming addiction, any kind of addiction, anything that where you have lost control of yourself and you feel like you're bound, and chained. That's what the devil represents. So looking at that, I'm looking at this because the Eight of Cups is moving towards the devil card. Let me give this a second to clear up for me. So I'm hearing out of the frying pan into the fire. Okay. So I'm feeling this sense of walking away emotionally from something that isn't quite satisfactory and into a situation where you just kind of lose yourself. The devil can be obsession. It's like just too focused on something, too, black and white, to the death kind of. It's a very scorpionic energy. So it can also talk about, if I look at it in a really broad way, walking away from something emotionally and towards something that just gets me really excited and obsessed. Not that we can pull anything really that positive out of the devil card, because the devil just says, it's not a fun card. It's not really a positive card. That's not really coming too clear for me, Libra, I gotta say. Comments. I would love and welcome your comments here. Okay, now we're going to Scorpio. Ooh, ouchie. Okay. Scorpio's got it tough right now. Seven of Rods says you're working your ass off just to stay in one place. It's like feelings of being overwhelmed. Everything's coming at me at one point and, at one time. And you have that, everything coming at me at one time. And then look at the Page of Swords there. Oh shit, fear and trepidation. And what's he looking at? The Four of Pentacles. So what I'm seeing here is I'm overwhelmed. I am really fearful about what's coming and what I'm looking to the future about, and it's about money. The worry is about money and having enough. It also can say that you're just too focused on money. All right, that it's just my focus is all here, and what I love about this image is you see how his head is weighed down, both arms are wrapped around, and both feet are occupied. This man is, tied down and immobilized by the idea of money and what this is going to do for him. So, the message there is that resources have to flow. Resources are there for a purpose. That's a tool. Remember, it's not something that defines you as a person. So your resources have to flow. Let the money flow where it needs to go without the fear. This, fear of, oh shit, I can't spend any money or I won't have any. Well, then again, you can have money and have your phone shut off because you haven't paid the bill. So let resources flow where they need to go. Try to get past the fear there, Scorpio, which is a tall order for you, I know. Scorpios fear like nobody's business. Okay, let's go on to Sag. And here we got the majors coming out again. All right, big times for Sagittarius as well. The Chariot talks about a decision also. It's a decision of which way I'm going to go. All right. There's a choice before you. Which way are you steering the chariot? And the big message there is you are in the driver's seat. It's your path to choose. All right. I've known people that are so much in victim mindset that they look at their life as just a series of things that happen to them and that there's no choice about it. I actually had a friend that was seeing a guy and asked me, are we going to get married? And I said, have you talked about it? Well, no, it had never come up. And I'm like, well, why would you ask me and not him? So you are in the driver's seat. It is yours to decide. And then the Judgment card comes after that. And Judgment says it's time for a complete change. So the Judgment is another card that represents change in the major arcana. And I just put some more incense on, as you can see. So the Judgment indicates change, and it is complete change. It is change from the inside out. It's death and rebirth. It's initiation type change. Okay. So initiatory things are things where your life changes to the point that everything is different because I feel like I'm a different person now. A death close to you can cause this kind of change. Getting married can be this kind of change. Just growing up and having some realizations about who you are and what life is about can bring about these kinds of change. So it is complete change from the inside out. It's that dividing line where your life is, here was my life to this point, and now it's this, okay? So you are choosing your path towards this big, complete change, Sagittarius. And then we have Knight of Rods there, which is a change of residence, a change within the residence, somebody moving in, somebody moving out, travel, or a change of your physical residence, the structure, like doing construction or something within where you live. So big changes coming there for Sagittarius. Drive the chariot. And what a perfect thing for Sag, right? With the centaur, drive the fucking chariot. Get in the driver's seat, make a decision. Here's where I want to go. If you get there and decide it sucks, go someplace else. You're still in the driver's seat, okay? All right, Capricorn, wow. All right, 3 just fell, and so those are going to be my Capricorn cards. All right. Empress in the middle. Now she's pregnant too. So what's the difference between the Empress and the Queen of Pentacles? Remember that major arcana are big principles. They're big concepts. They're archetypes. That's the word I'm looking for. They are archetypes. They represent big energies and big life lessons, big turning points in life, those sorts of things. Queen of Pentacles is a suit card, so it's going to be more the mundane. So the Queen of Pentacles is about taking what you're given, in practical terms and making more out of it, saving money, investing money, getting supplies that you can sew into things, stuff like that. Empress is the mindset. It's the abundance mindset. It's the belief system that says, there's plenty for everyone, and that includes me. It's the mindset that says, I deserve a roof over my head and food and health and access to medical care and education and all that stuff. And there's plenty for everybody. If somebody else has some, it doesn't mean I'm getting less. All right. So that's what the Empress is. It's the abundance mindset. It's the knowing that the universe is an abundant place. Okay, let's see. And court cards again. Dang, how many times? It's like 3 now that have had court cards on either side of things. Knight of Swords talks about rushing in and doing something, going at it with a will, going at it with some aggression. Okay, so it's saying here, practice those beliefs, the abundant beliefs. Are you getting rid of stuff, but you're really focused on, I got to sell it and make money out of it, instead of, I'm just going to donate it because I know if I give somebody what they need, then I can get what I need. It's sending out the energy so it moves in a circle. Okay, so really practicing, putting into practice in a very motivated, active way. That's the Knight of Swords. Queen of Rods on this side talks about friendship and having that person that you rely on to give you straight answers, to give you comfort. If you see the cat curled up in her lap, she just represents that good friend that you can go to when things are fucked up and ask for support and advice and stuff like that. So the Empress says everything's here for you. It's available for you, Capricorn, which is a hard thing for a Capricorn to believe. Capricorns tend to think in lack and limitation rather than abundance. Okay, so big lesson for Capricorn, start thinking in abundance. You're going to have to go at it and to, you know, really get it installed in your brain. And then Queen of Rods, please take advantage of those friends that can offer you comfort and fun and good advice. Okay, here comes Aquarius. Okay, do y'all see this? The exact 3 cards that I put up there for Scorpio, and I'm going to leave them. I mean, they stayed in the same, and see, mind-blowing. How did I shuffle through and have those 3 come up to the top of the deck again in the same order? At any rate, overwhelm, fear about money and resources and where they're going, time to get through the fear. And again, you can take up that sword and go at it. Go at this scarcity mindset and this money worry with, you know, a will to change it. So if that was short, yes, because it's the same thing I read for Scorpio. So Aquarius, wind back and look at the Scorpio. All right. And then we have Pisces. All right. Had one pop out there, Page of Rods, Pisces. It's time to quit waiting for people to know what you need and ask for it. I hope that rang your bell. Oh, and looky there. There's a very Piscean card. The Moon. Okay. When the Moon comes up in a reading, things get foggy. And what rules fog? Pisces, Neptune. So it says that things are a little hazy right now. You're not clear on something. I'm not really sure which way to go here. And look what we have next to it again, the card that talks about meditation. If you're not clear on it, start to meditate. Get into your subconscious mind. Pisces rules the subconscious and the unconscious mind. You've got to keep a dialogue open between your conscious and your unconscious, because Pisces lives a lot in the unconscious mind. Pisces, hello Mary, Pisces absorbs the atmosphere around them. They pick up people's emotional energy. They feel people's feelings, okay? So it's really important that you know what your feelings are, what your story is, because then you are able to separate what you're picking up from what's really yours. Because Pisces tends to have fuzzy boundaries, and with this Moon coming up, boundaries can be particularly fuzzy. So when you pick up other people's emotions, you can very easily think those are mine. And, you know, I'm really pissed off and it's just me. I'm just a pissed off person. Maybe not. Maybe you're picking up something from around, you know, people around you. So the rule there is for Pisces and anybody else that's empathic. How do you know when you're picking something up versus just making it up or feeling it yourself? If you're hit with an emotional state, sit down. Why am I feeling this? What's the trigger for this? What started this emotional state? If you can't find it, it might not be yours. Okay? And then start asking questions of the people around you. Hey, who's pissed off? Is anybody feeling, you know, whatever? And get it validated for you. On this side is Two of Rods, which talks about taking responsibility and looking to the future. If you notice the globe in his hand there, that talks about taking responsibility and saying, this is mine to figure out, looking forward towards the future with that acceptance of responsibility. Okay, it's mine to figure out. So all of this, I don't know. And this one that flew out of the deck saying, you know, nobody else does either. Nobody knows what you're going through except you. You're the one that has to identify this and figure it out. And then you're the one, and through meditation you can do that, and then you're the one that has to look towards the future and take responsibility for your feelings and say, here's the path that I'm going to take from here on out. So let me send a little note to Mary here. Whoopsie. Okay. This is such a new thing for me, just having the chat going on at the same time. Thank God there's not a shit ton of people. There's two. We got two. I think two or maybe three now. I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for showing up. This is, a brand new thing for me, and I hope it keeps going and that I get my shit together and get my skills together. But yeah, if you're on and you have a question, I can do a little reading for you. In the meantime, what? In the meantime, it's getting a little dark. There we go. It's pretty cloudy and gray, and it's getting spectacularly cloudy and gray. Oh, so yeah, one of the things I'm interested in is I know there's a buffer going on between me and the stream, but I don't know how long of a lag time there is. So, I'm thinking maybe a minute or so. So, I don't know. These are the things I gotta figure out. So again, if anybody does live streaming or knows stuff about Streamlabs OBS that, can answer questions, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. I know what I'm gonna do. A while ago, I did a reading on Democrats, Republicans, and the American people. As we were starting the impeachment, I did it on the first day of the impeachment hearings. So now that they've kind of wrapped those hearings, let's do another reading for that. Okay, so Mary has now checked in with a question. I'm wondering about being a tarot reader. Is this a good choice for me? So I could answer that in a heartbeat if I had your chart. But let's do a shuffle. Okay, one cut shuffle through for Mary. Okay. Is this a good choice for me? Okay. Well, first of all, I would say that you're working hard and not seeing a lot of results. That you're definitely under it. There's the card of overwhelm and the card of overwork right next to each other. So I would say that we need to definitely address that and start saying no to some things. Page of Swords talks about looking towards the future with a little bit of fear and trepidation. So now, how do we apply this to your question of, is this a good choice for me? I'm coming right to this Page of Swords because what I'm seeing there is sort of like this fearfulness, which can talk about, that superstitious sort of mindset of, will I get in trouble if I do this? Wipe that right out. Okay? No, you won't. If you want to read cards, get some cards and start playing with them. If that deck doesn't do it for you, get a different one and start playing with them, because you wouldn't even be thinking about it unless it was something already in you. Okay? It's got to be part of your makeup, or you're not even going to consider it. For instance, somebody that is totally tone deaf and has no musical ability in them is generally not going to wonder about having a career as a concert musician, right? So usually we're interested in something because it's already part of our consciousness, already part of our makeup. When I was a kid, nobody talked about reading cards. I mean, my mother's entire family is psychic as hell. Nobody talked about astrology. All there was the stuff that was in the newspaper. And yet, when I went to the library, I would get every book on astrology, magic, ghosts, weird shit that I could get my hands on, because it's part of me. And I talked in the beginning of this stream about my outer planet trifecta in my chart, where I've got the Uranus conjuncting my sun, Neptune squaring my sun and trining my moon, Pluto conjuncting Mercury in the midheaven and opposing my moon. So I've got the outer planets, which indicate these higher functions like intuition, psychic ability, mediumship. All right. Uranus is intuition. Neptune is psychic ability. Pluto indicates magic, the ability to do magic. So that means the ability to sense, shape, magnify, and direct energy. Okay. So I've got all those going for me. But with this Page of Swords, it says, don't fear it. You know, if whatever you've heard before about magic or esoteric things or, you know, any of these mystical arts, whatever you've heard about, oh, that's dangerous. And I know Catholics are particularly prone to having heard this kind of stuff because it's like, oh, it's in the Bible. It says you shouldn't do that. You know what? Who put these ideas in your head? If you believe God is everything and in everything and makes everything, then why do you not believe that he did this too? And he puts these questions in your head and a way to answer them. You know, you're not playing God here. You're just asking for guidance. And, you know, if you can ask your angels for guidance, why can't you ask your cards for guidance? You know, you're not turning these into the gods. You're not giving these cards power. They're ink and paper. So when I was talking at the beginning of the live stream about dogma and superstition, these cards, I love this deck. I have been reading with this deck for 30 years now. And I love them. They are so magical to me. It ain't even funny. They do things that just blow my mind. And yet, if I was forced to go throw them in a fire, I have no fear whatsoever something bad's going to happen, you know, because they're ink and paper. The magic is in the connection and the belief that I program my brain with and the faith and trust I have that this is a process that works, and the experience, the long years of experience that I have, that this is a process that works. So get rid of the fear. Okay, I'm going to take 3 more for you. And more money stuff, money fears coming up again. So I acknowledge those fears for you and validate them. The Lovers and the Hanged Man. Okay, the Lovers talks about soulmate type relationships. It talks about having a deep connection. So that can indicate, in light of the question, that you do have a deep connection and can attract to you the things that you need. Okay, in this case would be information from the cards. You are able to attract this stuff to you. The Hanged Man says there's a portion of control that you have to sort of give up. So when you're reading, the Hanged Man says, I'm not the one driving this boat. I am just setting the place and opening the door for information to come through. I'm the mouthpiece. I'm the one relaying the information, not the manufacturer of the information. Okay? So the Hanged Man talks about offering it up or handing it over to God or handing it over to the universe or your spirit guides or, you know, whatever terms you use there, your fairies, your angels, whatever. Hanged Man says, it's not all about me. I'm not totally in control here. And see, normally if I'm doing a reading just cold without a question, this would be talking about you're in waiting mode right now. You're just sort of in waiting mode. I also want to acknowledge here that this Mercury retrograde was a bitch and a half. It was so hard to do anything. I had zero creative energy. It was very depressing. So it is now coming back up to speed. So anybody, if you're feeling in the doldrums, you should start feeling it shake loose. I know it has felt a lot different for me already. Just in the past couple days, we're moving forward again. So again, I would say, and Positive for Life, yes, please ask a question. I would say that without even looking at cards, yes, you can be a reader. Yes, you can do something like that. It's just a matter of exploring and trying. Everybody can find a deck that works for them. And if you have it in you, you have the curiosity in you, know that you've got the ability in you as well. So I want to validate that for you and just, you know, go for it. Okay, Positive for Life. Wow, yeah, Uranus in the 12th and Neptune in the 3rd. Yes, that Uranus in the 12th will keep you up at night. You know, wow. So I'm glad that it resonated for you, and you're very, very welcome. So Positive for Life, go ahead and give me your question there. Okay. Again, I know there's a lag time between what's happening. I assume that chat is going out in real time. So, and boy, do I want a producer now. I want somebody to sit and tell me, go, camera 2, all that kind of stuff. So we're waiting now for Positive for Life's questions so I can do a reading for them. Let's see what else I can talk to you about. I can talk to you about what it takes to get a reading from me. And I will tell you that tomorrow, I don't think I'm going to live stream this, but I will record it and upload it later tomorrow. I am doing a reading for someone tomorrow that is a chart reading, and I'm going to record it. This person will remain anonymous, but I'm going to record that reading and put it up so you can see what a full chart reading entails. You're actually going to be seeing a full reading of someone's actual chart. So you will know, here's the kind of thing that happens when I do your chart. It's very specific information. And again, it's a thing that blows my mind again and again and again, that I can look at these symbols on paper and make statements about somebody I don't know and that they turn out to be absolutely true. So, okay. Positive for Life is typing, and oops. What's your questino? Okay, welcome, Jacob. I'm so glad people are watching me. This is exciting as fuck. Okay, Positive for Life. Will I be getting accepted into the MR Youth program this spring? Where I will enjoy the most. Thank you. Okay. I will also tell you, when I do a reading for someone, I usually have them state their full name for me, and then I will ask, do I have your permission to give you a reading today? And I learned this from my one friend who's a reader, because that opens the door, you giving me permission. So I'm just assuming that if you're asking me a question on this thread, you're giving me permission to answer that, so we don't have to go through that. Okay. And look, okay, so theme for the day. Anytime I do bulk readings, like at a fair or a party or something where, it's a bunch of readings compressed into a certain amount of time, there's always a theme card that will show up again and again. Theme card here is 4 of Rods. So 8 of Pentacles talks about apprenticeship. It talks about you getting your hands on tools and learning. So I'm assuming this is some kind of an internship. If it's a youth program, I imagine it would be. 4 of Rods says you will be collaborating with people, and the Chariot talks about being in the driver's seat and going where you want to go. That's the indicator for me that yes, you will be going where you want to go. But let's also look at it and say there's 2. Every time I look at the Chariot, I notice the black Sphinx and the white Sphinx, which says there's a choice. There's a choice of 2 different ways. So you may find yourself with a choice of I can go here or I can go here, and actually have the ability to choose where you want to go. But I'd say that's looking good, because these 2 things here talk about actively working with other people to create something together. So I think that's looking good for you. Positive for Life. Thanks for checking in. Oh, master's degree. Okay. So yeah, I think you're going to have a choice about that. Okay, Jacob Ross, you're a girl. And Kinga, I like that. Okay, so after this cut shuffle, Kinga, I am going to, actually, all right. So Kinga, I need to know your question. Type me up something, darling. And by all means, let me know if something that I say resonates for you, if you're getting something out of it at all. Let me know. If it's complete bullshit, let me know that too. This is my Pluto Mercury conjunction. I want all the information. I want the casket open. I want the curtain pulled back. I want to see how it all works, for good or bad. Okay, so tell me if it sucks. All right. Oh, choice of 2 programs. There you go. All right, so Kinga, how does the opposite sex see you? Okay, let's do... Let me first address the thing that sexes don't come in opposites. It's a continuum. Oh, looky there. Cups, cups, and cups. Okay. So, How do males view me? Yes, thank you for clarifying that. Um, Three Cups up says we're dealing in the emotional realm here. And when you're doing just a 3-card reading and you get, a sword and a wand and a major, that's not going to, I've talked before about when I do a 10-card reading or when I do a full Wheel of Fortune tableau, I will take account of how many of each suit, how many majors, and that gives me an overall view of the questions and the issues that are going on. With 3 cards, you can't really do that unless you get a triple. So we've got a triple here. We've got 3 cups, which says, yes, we're dealing in the emotional realm with a question of how do males view me. 6 of Cups in the center here says that they see you, maybe you have a real youthful look about you, or you've got, a very little girly idea, because this talks about children and childhood. Yeah, I could also say they view you as a baby machine, but we're not going to go there, okay? But as that there's a childlike quality here. There's an innocence about you. 10 of Cups says happy. I'm a happy person. This would indicate somebody that's extremely happy, extremely optimistic. All right, and after the fulfillment of happiness. And then King of Cups on the side here. So King of Cups talks about emotional mastery. If we're talking about a particular male, we're talking about someone who is more emotional, who has emotional support to give. So I talked earlier about money mastery. I want to talk now about emotional mastery. What that means, it doesn't mean you master your emotions. It doesn't mean that you sit on them and don't feel them and control them, because you're doomed if you do. That is like the biggest disservice you can do to yourself, is try to sit on your emotional life and not feel those feelings. That's like eating a meal and never taking a shit. Okay? They need to be processed. But mastery says, emotions are a reflection of my life. They're letting me know how things are hitting me and how I perceive things. They give me information, but the mastery part is I don't make decisions on them. I don't make decisions based on my emotional state. So when we have a big emotional reaction and a decision needs to be made, it's best, if you can, to wait until the emotional climate until the emotions are processed, the emotional climate calms down, and then I can make a decision. Then I can look at the information. Wow, that I really had this huge anger reaction about that. What's that all about? Think about it, trust your intuition, and go, okay, now I'm going to make a decision based on the information that my emotions gave me, not based on the emotional state and from the middle of it. Okay, so King of Cups, number one, it would say that's what you're looking for, is someone that is the softer side of masculinity, someone that does have emotional support to give. Okay, it can also be, in light of the question, the view can be they see me as someone that can give them emotional support. So that can be a little bit of a warning that if a guy is looking at me as someone that can, carry the emotional body, carry the emotions for the two of us, that's not a good thing. All right. So again, you look to be a very innocent, kind of happy person. And yeah, maybe not childish, but just younger than you appear would be, a good thing. Maybe they don't know that you're as old as you are. But yeah, that's what I would say there. I would say they look at you as someone happy, cheerful, someone youthful, and someone that can offer emotional support. Okay. So good. Let's see. What are we going on here? Gosh, almost an hour and a half. That's been flying by. All right. Anybody else got a question or even another question? Astrology questions on magic and ritual and witchcraft and all that kind of stuff. Just, any question that I can answer even without cards. Just, hit me, baby. Let's see what I can do for you. So anyway, tomorrow I will be doing this reading, and by evening I should have the reading uploaded so that you can view it. You have a little bit of a window here on how I read cards, and I'm assuming that you guys, some of you are here because you saw that kind of hinky live stream that I did the other night. Yes, Kinga, you can have another one. Go ahead. So you'll be able to see You know what that is. And what the hell was I thinking here? I was talking about being on the other night. Oh, I talked a lot about, especially in part 2, that live stream uploaded in 2 parts because the first one, the first part dropped. My stream dropped and then it picked up again. So it's in 2 parts, but I gave a lot of information about being a reader there. So, the person who asked about being a tarot reader, Mary, I would say, yes, please go look at that stream from the other night, and there's a lot of information there just about being a reader and tips and tricks and, you know, master tricks. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to shuffle again. And I'll do just this one 10-card reading for Kinga here, since there's so few of you. If there was a whole bunch of you, it would just be, you know, 1 3-card per. But, you know, what the hell? I got time to blow. Okay, so a general reading. I'm going to do 3 cut shuffles. All right, 1 more. And here they come. All right. All right, general reading. So the ones that come flying out of the deck at you, always when you're shuffling and a card flips it. Now, if you're shuffling and like half the deck falls, just pick them up and shuffle, you know. If a chunk falls, you know, just a smaller chunk, and you're doing a 10-card reading, I'd do the 10-card reading out of that chunk. So just to see how it goes there. All right. 6 of Rods, Knight of Pentacles, and the Star. Knight of Pentacles talks about learning new skills with the material, in the material realm. So it's time to level up there as far as how you deal with money, how you take care of your responsibilities in life. Are you a responsible person? Wherever you are, it's time to level up, become more responsible, become more of an adult as far as taking care of the practical, the material resources. So this is all, pentacles are in the earth realm, which is material, your living space, your money, your body, okay, health and medicine and all that stuff. So time to level up there. 6 of Rods says you're on your way there, that you have taken responsibility. So if we look from the left to the right, here's the victory card, moving towards this Knight of Pentacles, saying that you are on the right track to level up and become more responsible and more of an adult in the material realm. The Star card talks about your psychic ability, your inspiration, and your guides. When the Star card shows up, your guides are going, hey, here we are. They're only allowed to step in when it's a matter of life or death without you asking. So when they come up in a reading, it says it's time to start talking to your guides, asking for what you need, thanking them for their presence. It's time to start the communication. Okay? Okay. The next 3 here, we've got the Hermit, the 6 of Swords, and 3 of Rods. Now, patterns in readings. Do you see this 6 of Rods, the horse moving forward? Do you see this 6 of Swords in a boat moving forward? There's motion happening here. You're on your way. You are underway, okay? So there is movement happening. The Hermit card talks about solitude and spending some time, in the way he's facing and the way he's positioned. It says it's time to start looking into your past and the truth of it. If you are under 28 or you're in your mid-20s, I call your 20s your fucking up years. When you get to 28 and your Saturn return, it's time for you to level up in that way and become an adult. And part of becoming an adult is understanding your history, your past, the truth of your own story, what your traumas were, you know, who you were born to be from who you were trained to be, is what the Hermit can do. But it talks about being alone, spending that time really looking deeply into what's going on inside. 6 of Swords says it's a great determined effort working towards a goal here. I'm really determined and I'm working hard. And the 3 of Rods says ships are coming in. So that victory card that came out first says that things are moving and moving in a good direction. And then the last 3 here talks about a change of residence within the year, or a change within the residence, somebody moving in, somebody moving out. And then King of Swords. Okay, I call him the son of a bitch, or the motherfucker. All right. King of Swords represents someone who is not on your side, or represents someone judgmental, someone not supportive, kind of the opposite of the King of Cups. Not supportive, somebody that's always got something negative or judgmental to say. This is a roadblock that you need to get through. And then we've got the card of mastery here. Now you weren't the one that was talking about the master's program. Okay. But this talks about taking things to a mastery level. So several things in here, the pattern here talks about you already being on the way to leveling up in life, taking on more responsibility. You have a goal defined and you're driving towards it, and you're going to start seeing results if you haven't seen results already. Look at the 6-6, the 3-3. That means things are lining up here. But that change of residence, and I see that you say that you're working on buying a house. Well, there's the change of residence. Yes, you might end up with some roadblocks, or just somebody else's opinion that doesn't quite jive with yours could make it difficult. But 3 of Pentacles says you're taking things up to the next level, into the mastery level, and that looks good. And then the final card we take there is the blank card. So it's a test of faith. You're not going to have answers right away. All right. I'm getting 3 and 4s. So we could talk about 3 to 4 months is what I'm hearing, not weeks. Okay. So it just says that you don't have all the information you need yet, and you can't have an answer yet. So a test of faith, get this goal defined. Here's what I want. Get yourself into manifesting mode. At the beginning of the live stream, I talked about visualization and manifesting things, or in one of the mini readings I did for the signs. So you can look back on that when this is uploaded. But at the end, it says it's a test of faith. Just trust. Trust that things will work out the way you need them to work out. You're making the efforts. Okay. Don't freak out because you don't have the results just yet. All right. Now, Mary. Okay. And let me see something here. Okay. All right. Going to do 3 cut shuffles. Mary has asked for a general reading. Okay, I want to ask or answer Kinga's question here first about how can I talk to them. Prayer, meditation. Someone once said that prayer is talking to God and meditation is listening. Okay, so you put yourself in the mindset where you're receptive to information from them. First of all, you start talking to them in the morning. Hi, thanks for being here. I know you're here to support me. Thank you so much. Any help you can give me today, I really appreciate. Okay, when you get in the car, if I'm ready to head out, especially on the highway or something, I'll say, angels go before me and make my path clear. So it's just start the conversation. And then you can do in meditation, you can do a meditation and ask to meet your guides and just take the information that comes. But meditation is a great thing. Kelly Howell is one of my very favorites. Howell. Her recordings you use headphones with, and you don't have to practice to get there. There's sound technology that will drop your brain into deep trance state, into delta, which is deep sleep. Theta is deep trance. They have alpha, beta, gamma. There's all these other brain frequency states that when you use her recordings and headphones, it'll take you right there. Okay, Mary. Gonna do 3 cut shuffles for Mary Foster. It doesn't matter if that's your real name or not. Okay, it is in this thread, so it's okay. There's 2. And here's 3. And here they come a-flying. All right. So, and 3 again. And look, what the hell? These are exactly the 3 cards that came, no, these 2, and then the Hermit. So we had 1 card that snuck in there. So, again, you too, Mary. This is the victory card. This is Knight of Pentacles. Working towards taking more responsibility, working towards leveling up in life as far as the material goes. But over here we have the Hermit, which talks about shining a light on this process. So it says spend some time thinking deeply about how can I become more responsible? How can I take more charge of my life? How can I be a better steward of my resources? You know? So this is talking about shining the light. You see the way he's looking at this? So you see where cards fall and the way they're facing and what the pictures say gives you lots and lots of information. Okay. And here comes the star card. That one was here for Kinga. Okay. And the same thing in the middle too. Good God. Okay. So again, same card in the middle, Six of Swords, driving, but the star card is over here. So this is talking about really getting into your spiritual belief system, because that's going to be the foundation that allows you to move forward towards a goal. All right. And let me see here, Mary. Were you the one that was talking about reading cards? Yes. Yes, you were. Okay. So trust the fact that you already have that spiritual footing, that you already have that connection to your guides. What this is saying is that communicating with them, being connected with them, acknowledging with them is going to allow you to really move towards your goal. And if you're looking at being a reader and doing what I do, it's that connection with spirit that's really going to get you moving in that direction. Okay? You move that way, and then the ships start to come in. Down at the bottom here, again, change of residence and the motherfucker card. So whatever's going on with you. And again, the rank is number 1 is change of residence. 2 is change within the residence. Somebody moving in, somebody moving out. Number 3 is travel. Number 4 is a change of the residence, like construction work or renovation or something like that. And then we've got that blank card at the end here saying that you are in a test of faith. All right. So what I'm looking at here, he's got his back turned on this. All right. Somebody very opinionated about where you live or a change of residence there, but the back turned on this concept of faith. All right. This concept of really trusting and putting yourself, I don't have to see it because I know it. Because I know it works. I don't have to see it with my eyes. That's faith. Okay. And this person who's just like, that's a bunch of crap. All right. And then we've got Ace of Cups. So your last card says that you can look forward to a new beginning here, a new source of joy. The Ace of Cups just says, I mean, look at the lightness of the energy, first of all. It talks about happiness overflowing. All right. And because it's an ace, it's a new beginning. So a new beginning of joy. And I would say this is something that you're moving yourself towards. All right. Looking into here, how can I be more responsible for my own life? How can I be more of an adult? And letting spirit bolster you, inform you, give you, strengthen your faith so that you can move forward to reap the rewards of all your hard work there. Okay. Whoever's opinions are coming in here, stuff your fingers in your ears. When he comes up, it's like, yeah, just stick your fingers in your ears. He's got nothing positive to say. All right. And trust. Believe your faith. Nobody else has to validate that for you. It's yours. It's yours. Okay? All by yourself. Nobody has to validate your belief system for you, y'all. Religion is people telling you what to believe from the outside. Spirituality is discovering your own beliefs based on your experience and your exploration. Your spirituality is valid. It's yours. Don't let anybody tell you different. Okay? All right. There we go. And now Kinga is asking, now, Kinga, I'm going to stop you right here because, and okay, Talia, let's see here. Okay, Quesotin, I can't type today. Okay, so Kinga is asking again, will I be as rich and successful as I want in the future? That, my dear, is entirely up to you. So here we are approaching a line that I don't cross. And that line is, I can't tell you what your future is going to be. I can't tell you what's going to happen because it's not set in stone. Your future is not something that's already set up and just waiting for you to arrive at it. You are not fated to or destined. Well, destiny and fate are two different things. But you are not just scripted to do this and this is going to be your life and it can't be changed. Life is dynamic. The universe is dynamic. The universe is chaotic. The choices that you make every step of the way will determine what your future is. Okay? So if I sat here and threw down, you know, a bunch of pentacle cards and said, oh yes, you're going to be fabulously wealthy, and you sat on your ass and didn't do anything or work or make anything, do anything to make that happen, am I a liar or not? You know? So I do not predict future. There's a real fine line there, but I never claim to predict the future. So if you're projecting out that far, I would say I can't answer that question. It's up to you. I can actually come closer to answering that question if I do your chart for you, because it's going to talk about how you view money, how you use money, how it works in your life. All right. And then you've got to make choices around that. But to just throw cards, am I going to be, I don't know that I can do that. And I want to see what you're telling me about what you would love to do. Those are questions much better answered with a chart. Okay. So, all right, Talia. Will Brian approach me soon? Let's address the, okay, we'll talk about twin flame in a minute. So we're going to do 3 cut shuffles. And I will also say that this is going to be the last card reading that I do here. And now we have some feedback from Mary. I will be moving forward with my spirituality. Most of the people around me are very religious, and I've stepped away from it. Right on, Mary. Claim your own, baby. Claim your own and let your guides help you. They are there. They are there for you. And when you open the door to magic, be prepared to have your mind blown, because it's real. It's fucking real. It exists, and it's a real thing. So good for you, baby. Okay. Talia. Oh, and looky, I'm giving you a full reading here, but that's okay. So your question was, will Brian approach me soon? All right. And you know what? Let me do these, and then I'm going to answer that yes or no question. So this is going to be a general reading, not really looking, you know, specifically. Well, let me talk. Let me shut up and talk. Okay, across the top here, King of Cups. This talks about a man with emotional support to offer. All right. 3 of Cups is a celebration. So it's like, ooh, looking for happy times with this person that I want to have an emotional connection with. And in the center, we have Temperance. So I would say you need to temper your expectations. Okay. You need to look at, you know, do a reality check. Here's what I would really like from this person. Is this something I can expect? And just answering the question, what do I expect? What am I hoping for? What do I expect? All right. 1 second here. That's a little better. It was getting kind of dark. Okay. And then in the center, Knight of Swords talks about sort of getting swept off your feet. All right. And so does 8 of Rods. Holy shit. 8 of Rods can talk about falling in love, getting swept off your feet, that it's coming right next to King of Cups here is very interesting. Knight of Rods in the center of this says that he could come charging in pretty quick here. The Empress card on this side, I want to remind you that she is pregnant. So again, she represents fertility, and you want to make sure that it lands where you want it to land. But the Empress says that you have a lot to offer. So again, in light of the question, I talked about the Empress before as being the principle of abundance, okay, generosity. And in light of this question, it's like you have a lot to offer someone, okay? Down at the bottom here, Queen of Rods talks about a friend. She is telling me not to put all your eggs in one basket. She is telling me that even with a solid relationship, you need to have friends as well. And any relationship that asks you to cut your friends out is not a healthy one. Now, I also know that when you get into a new relationship, sometimes you get so wrapped up in each other that you totally forget you have friends. But the warning flag comes if someone expects you not to spend time with your friends. So I just want to say that friends are very, very important, even when you're in a soulmate type relationship. Okay. 2 of Swords talks about being self-protect mode, and it also talks about something that you're not willing to look at. Coming right underneath the Knight of Swords here, I want to just want you to really look at him for who he is and not who you want him to be, or you hope he is, or your rose-colored glasses tell you he is, okay? So this says take off the blindfold, be very clear about who exactly this person is showing you he is. This is something that Neptunian people do, and it's a terrible thing, and I'm one of those people. You see the potential in someone. You see what they could be. You see their talents. And you fall in love with that and forget to look at who they actually are. Are they using those talents? Is this the person they're living? Are they living their life as this person, or are they somebody entirely different? Please believe what they're showing you and not what your, idealism is telling you. So time to take the blindfold off and really look carefully. And then Six of Pentacles is a gift that's not worked for. So that indicates resources coming in here underneath the Empress. If I look at it this way, I think there might be some abundance coming your way, darling. Okay. And then we have the other blindfold. So I've got a big ass warning here for you. You need to take the blindfolds off and look at this person as a real human being on planet Earth now, not as your vision of a twin flame. I will also tell you that twin flame and soulmate kind of sound, similar. There's not only one soulmate. We have any number of soulmates. It depends on who you run into, who your life course makes you stumble across, and you might not stumble across them all in one lifetime. Soulmate is someone that you have karmic dealings with, karmic business to finish up. They can be some of the worst relationships, but they will teach you a lot. So soulmate means I have karmic business with this person. I'm going to learn a lot. You're usually head over heels for them. Sometimes they can suck beyond suck. Sometimes they are those grand and glorious relationships we think of when we hear soulmate, that this is going to be, my be all and end all for the rest of my life in paradise. So again, big warnings, take the fucking blindfolds off. And this card too, in particular, this one says, I don't want to know. This one says, I don't have a choice. So you always have a choice. If this person is showing you that they're an asshole in any way, shape, or form, please believe them. And then make a choice. Let yourself out of the trap of thinking you don't have a choice, because there's always, 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 always a choice. So, yep, and you can have more than one soulmate. So I have married several soulmates, and they taught me a hell of a lot. All right. Okay. Hi Jermaine, thanks for showing up. I want to show you, and I'm going to answer Talia's yes or no question particularly, and show you how to do that. I did it in the live stream the other night, but I don't know how fucked up that live stream was and how much got through. So here's how you do a yes or no question with the tarot deck. Gonna cut shuffle 3 times. Talia wants to know, will Brian contact her soon? One more. So what you're doing here is 3 piles of cards. You're going to stop when you get to an ace or when you get to 13 cards. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. There's an ace. 1, 2. And if you hit an ace, you move to the next pile. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. No ace. Third pile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Unfortunately, that's a probably no. Okay, so you do this. You stop when you hit an ace and start a new pile, or you stop when you get to 13 cards and start a new pile. 3 piles. If it's all aces, it's a yes. If it's no aces, it's a no. If it's 1 ace, it's a probably no. If it's 2 aces, it's a probably yes. And I'm going to answer, I'm going to ask it to Socrates as well, because I don't know if you guys have seen Socrates. If you're new, and if you are new, please subscribe to my channel. Please tell people about me. I'll tell you how to hook up with me for a reading in a moment, but Socrates, oh my love. Please answer Talia's question. Will Brian contact her soon?
Shit. Hell if I know.
And you got to fart at the end too. So he doesn't really know, and the card said probably no. So that, but the way the question was phrased, which was, will he contact me soon, might just mean it won't be soon, but he will contact you. So, you know, it's kind of fuzzy there, but that's how you do a yes or no with Tarot, and a yes or no with Socrates, who's one of my favorite people. And so far, he has backed me up with everything that I've asked. When I've done something with cards and asked his opinion too, it's correlated all the way. And he didn't, when I first got him, he didn't. He wasn't right at all. And then I had him for years, and I started giving him that same regard that I give my decks, and he started answering questions accurately. So I thought that was pretty cool too. Oh, Talia, you read Tarot as well. I'm glad I'm teaching you something new. That's what I am all about here. And you know, we're going through some seriously tough times now. Pluto is coming to the last 10 degrees of Sagittarius, or of Capricorn, sorry. This is all this shit that's going on with the government is all about Pluto's transit through Capricorn. It entered Capricorn like the day after Obama was inaugurated the first time. And what Pluto does when it transits a sign, and it can take anywhere from like 12 to 18 years, 12 to 16 years for Pluto to get through a sign. And it's a range because it has an elliptical orbit that's not on the same ecliptic path as the other planets. But when Pluto goes into a sign, the first thing it does is expose all the ick. Okay, it's like exploratory surgery. We get to see everything that's underhanded, underground, undermining, you know, everything that's gross, icky, illegal, all that crap, all the infected, all the ick. It pulls the curtain back, and we get to see the person behind it. All right, so it goes through and digs everything up. And then right about when it hits halfway, then we get to start making choices about how we're going to change things, because Pluto is the transformer. Its action is inevitable. No getting around it. It's slow. It's painful. The only choice you get with Pluto is willingly or kicking and screaming. So when you look at what's happening with Pluto, and it's like, how can I cooperate with this process of deep, deep change? That Judgment card of the Tarot is very Plutonian. It talks about complete change from the inside out. Death, rebirth. Okay, death of the old way, rebirth of the new. That's what Pluto does. And going through Capricorn, Capricorn rules governments, it rules the patriarchy, it rules structures, all this kind of stuff. So as we're going through this, it's everybody's starting to get interested in magic and in you know, readings and doing this kind of stuff, getting into the more esoteric parts of life and learning how to manifest and the more mystical side of life. So, you know, I encourage all of you. I'm going to be doing some things. I'll probably do a live stream of like a tour of my altar or a tour of my tarot shelf or something like that, just to, you know, engage you people in the practices that I do and answer your questions and stuff like that. And I see Gemma Kidd, who wants to ask a question, and yes, I am going to answer it for you. And Talia, you're so welcome, darling. This is so much fun. This is so much fun. It's like there's people here and they're listening to me, and this is fucking awesome. All right, Gemma, I'm going to do one cut shuffle and answer your question. How do people view me? Okay. Now, I feel I get read wrong all the time. Now, that's a difference between your ascendant and your sun, okay? Your sun in your chart is the you that you know. When you say me, and I'm like this and I'm like this, it's your sun you're talking about. Your ascendant is how everybody else sees you. And if you don't understand that ascendant sign, it can feel like you're getting read wrong, but no, they're reading your ascendant because you don't let them in. And generally, the ascendant traits come up when you're in unfamiliar circumstances. The classic is you go to a party, you only know 2 people, your ascendant will be in full force. Here's how you handle that situation. It's your shield, all right? And then when people get to know the real you, they get to know your sun sign. Depending on how things are placed, of course, sometimes the chart ruler is more weakly placed than the sun, and then there's going to be a little bit different thing. But to answer the question, how do people view me as spiritual? Okay, the star card comes up. Maybe they see you as a little bit airy-fairy, but it is as a spiritual person. All right. Um, Nine of Cups is the wish card. So again, they might see you as a little airy fairy. If I just wish it, it will come true, something like that. Or they see you as a very positive person and a very optimistic person, and someone who just has a lot of faith that they're going to get things the way they want them to be, that they're going to get what they want. Okay. Seven of Rods talks about sort of overwhelm. So it could talk about people seeing you as maybe a little disorganized, or just having everything coming at you at once, you know, not able to sort of keep things, maintain things well. But certainly as someone spiritual, someone with a very positive outlook. I'd be curious to know your sign. So I want to go back to Mary here and ask your question. Let's see. And your question was, is Trump going to leave office soon? So I think I want to take the soon off, because that's a really slippery qualifier there. How soon? What does soon mean? Okay, so maybe we want to say, is he leaving office before his term is up? Okay, and then we can start putting time frames on it. So let's start there. Will Trump leave office before his term is up?
Things look fucking good.
Yeah, baby. That's what I'm all about. Okay. Will Trump be leaving office before spring? So before March 21st. Will Trump be leaving office before March 21st?
Are you fucking crazy?
Well, yeah, but that's beside the point. So that's saying probably not. But it is saying that he will be leaving before his term is up. So, okay, Gemma, star sign is Taurus, not sure of ascendant. I have a manic job, but I think I went through a spiritual awakening. Good for you. Everybody needs to. We no longer have the luxury of being dead fucking asleep, y'all. We don't have that luxury. And anybody that has the sensitivity to know that there's more to life than just the material is being called on right now to bring the light. I mean, fucking bring it. To learn healing modalities, to meditate, to make sure that you are as healthy as you can be. Because when the shit really hits the fan, it hasn't yet. When the shit really hits the fan, people are going to need us. They're really going to need us. So go for it. Please meditate. Please meditate. If I have one big plea to put out to you guys, get a fucking Kelly Howell recording, or find one of somebody that you love. Shakti Gawain was my first one, and she's amazing too. She has creative visualization, is a great recording that will teach you how to open up. 2 weeks into doing that every day, and I started having out-of-body experiences in other people's houses and getting them validated the next day, and everything just, the doors blew open. So do it. Get yourself the support that you need. Meditate so that your brain is rested and at peace and open to the information that's there for you, and that so that you can be one of the sane ones when the shit really hits the fan there. Okay. All right. So that was really fun. And I see that I'm at 1 hour and 58 minutes. So I'm going to end this because I need to go make dinner. But I really, really appreciate you being here. And if you want a reading from me, you can hit me on Messenger at Luna Zenwitch, just like my channel, The Zenwitch, but it's Luna space Zenwitch. Hit me on Messenger. We will hook up from there. I will send you all the details of how how I handle payment, how a reading is handled. But when I do a reading for you, whether it's tarot or astrology or a combo, you will get a recording like this. If I'm doing tarot, it will look exactly like this, me talking up in the corner and your cards down here. If I'm doing just a chart or a chart in addition to cards, I will click over onto my monitor, and you will be able to see the chart and what I'm looking at and pointing to as I delineate your chart. You will also, if you get a chart, get a report, a text report sent to you via Messenger. And I do readings by Skype. So not Messenger. Messenger dumped me over a year ago, and it just can't find my camera and microphone with both hands and a flashlight. So I do it by Skype. If you don't have Skype, it's a free account. It's very easy to do. And I record within Skype. So in your own Skype, you log in, you will see that reading, you can download it and keep it forever. If you absolutely can't do Skype for one reason or another, we can do a phone call. I will have your phone next to my microphone so we can pick up your audio, and I will record the reading and upload it as a private video to YouTube. You will be the only one that gets a link to it, and from there you can download it and keep it forever. I only keep those up for 30 days. Okay? So, it's been great spending time with you guys. It's just fabulous to know that somebody is willing to click and look at what I have to offer. I mean, it validates. It hasn't been easy being a priestess in this lifetime. There aren't many job offers out there, let me tell you. I have had to create my own context all the way through. So being a tarot reader is a hard row to hoe, but you're in demand now. And I will also do, I think I already did a video like 6 years ago on the ethics of being a reader, but I'll talk about ethic things in future videos. For now, though, this is the Zenwitch. I just adore that you've been here with me, possibly doing a live stream every Saturday. You know, I think that's the way I could go. Please like, please subscribe if you haven't already. Share information. It all supports me and helps me to get my business properly launched. So again, great being with you, and I'll see you next time. This is the Zenwitch. Blessed